everybody and welcome back to Panda Creates Tutorials. I'm Panda and I am super excited to be sharing one of my new favorite suppliers with you today in this demonstration. Now we are checking out a company called Starchild Designs. Starchild Designs is based in Brisbane, Queensland, and is run by the beautiful Ashleigh, who I must say has a beautiful personality as well. She is an absolute peach to deal with. But this is her website, so the links will be down in the description as always, but you want to go to starchild-designs.com and it brings you to this website. And of course, if you can see up the top, she does have Afterpay available, which is just incentive, isn't it, really, at the end of the day. Now, Ashleigh does do her own resin art as well, so some of her website is dedicated to her personal customers, where she makes her own handmade gifts and stuff, which is what you find at the very top here where it says shop resin homewares. That's her section for her customers. But for us crafty people, she has silicone molds and glitter, and recently she's added holographic foil inserts, which I have already got some of, but I have not used yet. So I will post pictures in Aussie Tumbler Makers and in the new Panda Cave group once I get a chance to play with them. But we're going to start with the silicone molds section. Right, a couple are out of stock at the moment. But she has 4 pages of silicone molds to check out. Her glitter range, I am lucky enough to already have 10 of her glitters, which I'm going to be demonstrating to you in a minute. But she also has 4 pages of glitter as well. So, and the holographic inserts, if you don't know what they are hollow foil inserts. She's photographed them on a black base so that they show up here, but they're actually clear. So if you're on TikTok or and you've seen where the people do the ashtrays and the coasters and stuff, and they put the transparent inserts in, this is what they're using. So they don't come on a black base, they come printed on a clear sheet of paper, and you can use these gorgeous holographic foils in your creations as well. So moving on from here, I'm going to show you, I'll go back to the home page. We're going to start by showing off some of her beautiful glitters. Okay, so starting with Starchild Designs' glitter collection. I do not have all of her collection yet, but I do have 10 of them. We're going to start with the one that kind of started it all. Now, I have been buying off Ashleigh since probably mid-March. I bought a couple of molds off her. I found her by chance. The crafty gods were smiling on me that day. And I bought a couple of molds off her, and she sent this little sample of, this is the Diva Glitter, and this is what started it all. Okay, so I have made up, let's turn the light on just for a little bit more focus. This, maybe no light. There we go. This is the Diva Glitter that I just showed in that little sample pack. Isn't that pretty? We have little stars, we have little hearts, there's little pink hearts in there, and then other different colors as well as standard glitter. It is a chunky mix, but I've used this a couple of times for little keychains and stuff, and it is definitely a favorite of mine. I'm not usually into shape glitter, but whoops, I just think that that's super cute. So that is the Diva Glitter from Starchild Designs. The next one I want to show off, I'm actually going to use in this demonstration video as well. This is her Treasure Gold, and that is what it looks like on a sample. As you can see, it's not what I would consider a chunky mix. It is a mix. It does have super fine and the 1mm pieces in it, but it doesn't have any of the super chunky 2.5mm pieces in it. So it's a nice cute little mix. If you're looking for different sizes but you don't want to go super chunky, this is the gold for you. Okay, so next up, because we've just done gold, let's do silver. This I think is actually currently out of stock at the moment, but once it, make sure you, when you go onto the website, you put your email address in so you get an alert for when it comes back into stock. This is by far, look at it, my favorite silver at the moment. It is again a super fine and 1mm mix, but the 1mm pieces, if you see, have a rainbow shift to them, and this is what you get. Isn't that gorgeous? I love her glitters. And she's got a bad habit of, when I feel like I'm starting to catch up and have her entire collection, she's releasing new molds and new glitters almost weekly at the moment. She is growing really, really rapidly, which is exciting for me, but as soon as I get close enough to think, oh, I've got her whole collection, she releases more. Okay, so moving on to what is a brand new one from her. This is, hang on, I'll open it up so you can see. This is another mix that has the fine and the 1mm pieces in it. It is a white opal or a white iridescent. It has qualities of both. Right, so it does have that rainbow. Hang on, we're going to do it this way. It does have the rainbow shift of an iridescent to it, but it also has opal qualities to it as well. See that? So this, I have not used this yet. I only got this the other day. It is brand spanking new, but I'm really, really excited to try this out as a cheat glitter, like where I spray paint the base of a cup and then I use this over the top to make it sparkly, because isn't that stunning? Please focus. It's pretty. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're up to number 5. We're going to do Orchid Purple. Now this is a mix that has all 3 sizes in it, I believe. Yes, it does. So it has super fine, the 1mm and the 2.5mm chunkies in it. It is just a really pretty lavender, but it also has that a hollow shift to it as well. And this is what it looks like as a sample. See that? Now you know why I'm so excited about her glitters. Okay, now we're going to do Sunset, which is a red. Okay, same deal. It's got all 3 sizes in it. And that's what it looks like. That really pretty shift in it as well. And we're going to finish up with, we've still got 4 more, but I want to save these 2 for last because they've got shapes in them. So let's go with, where's my dragon? This is, I'll open the top, hang on. This is Dragon Scales. This one I can't quite figure out. It has pinks in it, it has purples in it, it has a really obvious green shift in it. See, it's just, it's not that I hate it, not at all. I really, really like it. It's called Dragon Scales. I just can't figure out how to describe it. Right, so it is a pink glitter, right? It is pink. That's the color that it is when it's in the container, right? But as soon as you use it, you start getting all of these green and blue shifts through the pink, like it's a pinky red color. See that? So I don't even know what to describe this as to you guys. So there. I'm just gonna sit here and twist me hand for a couple of seconds, and then you can come up with your own description. But it is a pink base with that shift through it. Okay. Last one of the mixes is Majestic Clean, which is this gorgeous blue and pinky purple. It's like, I suppose it's a fuchsia. It's more purple than pink, but we've got it here. It actually reminds me a lot of, what is it called? Blue Raspberry from, I can't even remember where it's from. It's one of the first glitter suppliers in Australia. I don't actually think she's in business anymore. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? This one doesn't have as much of a rainbow shift to it. It's just really pretty. So that is Majestic Queen. Again, all of these will be listed in the description. Now, these two. This one's called Blue Confetti, and this one is called Berry Bliss. Now, they are exactly the same mix, but in different colors, if we can focus. Right, so the Blue Confetti has chunky bits of blue, dark blue, and like a minty teal blue, as well as silver stars and white butterflies. And then Berry Bliss is the same with pink and red chunky mix with little pink hearts and silver butterflies. But they are super cute. Now, I just want to do this one is obviously Blue Confetti, but I want to hold the first one that I did, which was the Diva and the Berry Bliss. I want to hold side by side, right? They are very similar, okay? But one has gold stars and pink hearts, and one has silver butterflies and pink hearts. So please, when you're checking out, make sure if you want the gold stars and not the butterflies, that's Diva. If you want the butterflies and not the stars, that's Berry Bliss. They are super, super similar, but they do have obviously different shapes in them, and therefore are different mixes. But that is all 10 of my current collection of Starchild Designs. But like I said, she does have 4 pages of mixes on her website now, so make sure you check them out. We are going to move on to the first project now in the demonstration, so let's get on to that and we'll stop playing with sparkles. Little makeup palettes. They're the little clear palettes, or whatever color that you really want them to be, but they're the little like artist palettes that you can use to mix your foundations and your eyeshadows and stuff like that on. So I'm actually implementing this into my new makeup set. My makeup set originally consisted of a makeup bag and a brush holder, and I've been slowly building up my kits since then. So this is going to be part of that. I'm actually going to do a tutorial on my makeup kits in the near future, so I thought this would be a good introduction to the product. I am also using this gorgeous gold mix from Starchild Designs. This is called Treasure Gold, and then the rest of the palette is going to be clear. Just because I'm not a huge makeup person myself, but every time I've seen people use them in videos and stuff like that on YouTube, I have noticed that they prefer to have all of their colour up one end and the rest of it clear, so that they can get a what's the word I'm looking for? Not honest, true, a true colour representation of what they're using. So I have already mixed up my epoxy. I have made up 30 mils of epoxy. I am using a 2:1 ratio resin. So it was 20 mils of part A and 10 mils of part B. Just going to quickly spray my mold with some alcohol, and then we're going to go in. I'm not sure if I'm going to get 1 or 2, so we'll start with 1. And see how we go. I think we're only going to get 1 out of the 30 mils, but that's okay. Or was it 20? I think it was 20, come to think of it, because I second guessed myself at the last minute. So 30 mils probably would have been better, but we'll see how far up. Usually with when I get new molds, I syringe or pour water into it at 10 or 20 mil increments until they're full. And then I have a little spreadsheet on my computer going with what the mold is and how much epoxy it takes. Because these are brand new and I wanted to film them, I have not done that. But 25 to 30 mils, because this is just under the line. 25 to 30 mils seems like it would do the job for 1. So we'll just do the 1 today. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to go in with my Treasure Gold and just, no I'm not, first I'm going to spray all of these little bubbles that have come up. Okay, now I'm going to use my shaker side, I think, and just up the top end here. Here we go. Going to add in just a little bit of sparkle for your viewing pleasure. There we go. Please focus. There we go. How pretty is that? And then I'm going to get, where is it? My little, I call it my eyeshadow brush because that's what it reminds me of, an eyeshadow brush from LBB. And just create a pattern. So it looks like a starburst effect. There we go, once that focuses again. Okay, so I'm going to let this set. And then see how it looks. Honestly, I will probably, just because I can see my table's not even, I'll have to turn it around. But it could probably do with another 5 or 10 mils. So once this is fully cured, I will come back. We will put another layer over the glitter and fill up the mold entirely, and then that will be ready. But these are the makeup palettes from Starchild Designs and Treasure Gold from Starchild Designs. I'm going to be leaving all of the links of everything that I use from her down in the description. But definitely check her out. And I will be back with the next project. Okay, so quick disclaimer. I did mix up 30 mils and not 20 mils. It then took another 10 mils to finish off. So I have now, I tested on this side. It's about 45 mils to fill, right? So this one has 40. It is a little bit under on the sides, but not enough that like the mold's been cut in half or anything. It's pretty close. But I do recommend mixing up 50 mils when using this mold. 50 and 50, so 100 in total if you're making 2, and then you might have a little bit left over. You can just chuck that into a different mold. But let's get this demolded so that I can show you how pretty it is. And if you're wondering what resin I use for my molds, I use Platinum Superclear. As always, everything that I use will be down in the description. But check that out. That is crystal clear. It's got a few little, if you can see, right, I tried to get the glitter to waterfall without taking away from the clarity of the resin, because as I mentioned, people like to color mix on their palettes and they want a true representation without there being anything behind it. But that is the palette. So obviously, if you're that's really awkward for me. Sorry, I'm left-handed. They'd hold their palette like this. They'd have their makeup on there. They'd be mixing. They'd be applying. And it's just a cute little addition, especially for the women who know how to do their makeup, which is not me. People that are really into makeup and the makeup culture, this is just a cute little makeup palette that you can market to them. As I mentioned, it is a new part of my makeup set, which I will be doing a video on. It is a 4-part set. But I just wanted to show you, these molds do come from Starchild Designs. They come in a set of 2, and of course, as I mentioned, that beautiful gold glitter that we are seeing is the Treasure Gold from Ashleigh as well. So they are the little geode makeup palettes. Now what I will do from here is probably line the outside with a gold paint pen, the same that I do with my geode coasters, just to give it a more finished look. But that is the makeup palette. On to the second project. Okay, so the second project that I want to show you from Starchild Designs is this gorgeous trinket tray mold. Obviously I've gone ahead and painted it with pigment pastes first because I thought you guys would be rather bored watching me do it. It took me like a day and a bit of doing it sporadically to actually get it finished. I have used LBB Resin's pigment pastes on this. I'm not going to go into too much detail about their pigment paste because this isn't about them, but I will leave all of the colours that I used down in the description. And I've used, if you can see, we've got a green and silver python, right? I even went to the effort of doing the tongue and the mouth. She's got white teeth and then silver lining, and then I thought, because I just love teals and greens and deep purples, that we could use Pixie Dust Pigments Galaxy Purple, which is the deepest purple that I own to date. So I'm going to add that. I've already mixed up my resin. Again, I'm using the Superclear, Platinum Superclear resin. This time I've mixed up 150 mils. So being a 2-to-1 ratio, that was 100 mils of part A, 50 mils of part B. And we'll stir our purple into it. I'm actually really excited about this one. I saw this on her website when she first brought it out, and I just had to have it. So this one's for me. That's why I've done it all in my favourite colours. But I did want to do this one just to show you it. I've seen these done. They are very popular in the American groups at one stage as well, and I really, really loved them back then as well. But as far as the design itself goes, I have seen some people do it the way that I have, where the colour goes down first and then you pour. I've also seen people do it where they pour and then they go in with like a paintbrush or a paint pen or whatever medium they're doing once it's set and do the design from there. So you can do it either way. I've just chosen to do it this way this time. And you could, like, I've used pigment paste, but you can use acrylic paints and mica powders as well. Generally speaking, if I'm putting it down this way, I will use mica powders or pigment pastes. And if I'm doing it the other way, like say if I'm making dice or dominoes or my runes or something like that, then I will cast first and then go in with a teeny tiny little paintbrush and some acrylic paint and do it that way, and then obviously seal well. But look at that purple. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly just spray it a little bit, and then we're going to pour. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm so excited to be doing this. I've waited so long for this tray. Not so long from Starchild Designs. Please let me clarify that statement. She is brilliant with her orders and her postage times. I don't think I've had to wait any more than, say, 48 hours between placing an order and getting a shipping notification. I just mean I've seen these around for quite a while and I finally get to make one. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to give it a quick spray with the alcohol again just to pop any surface bubbles. I do not like using heat when it comes to silicone molds. I am a very heavy-handed person by nature, and every time that I've ever tried to use heat, I think there's only ever been once that I haven't stuffed up my mold because I've used heat. So to save my molds and my bank account, I'm just using the alcohol spray. But we are now going to let that sit overnight and demold that in the morning and have a look at it. Okay, here she is. Now, I messed up just a little bit. Can you see how she's gone all, how's your grandma, on me, right? After I was filming, I moved her, like I let her sit for a little while, finished what I was doing with something else, and then before I went to bed, I moved her out of the way. I did not realize when I moved her that I had created this skin on her. Usually when this happens, if you touch a mold and you leave your fingerprint by accident, or you get these old lady wrinkles, if you hit it with a little bit of heat at the time of your boo-boo, you can actually iron them out with your heat gun, for lack of a better word. You just hold the heat on it like this, and your fingerprints or your wrinkles will disappear. I did not realize that she had gone so wrinkly. So my moment of opportunity has passed now. She's now fully cured, and this is how she is. But I just wanted to mention that so you didn't think that I was dodgy. This is for me anyway, so I don't actually care that she looks a little bit, what's the word, withered, I suppose, on the back. But yes, if that does happen to you, if you're new to using silicone molds, if you accidentally press to see if it's cured and you leave your fingerprint or you wrinkle your mold or anything like that, a little bit of heat, not a lot, but a little bit of heat will help. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, she is ready to demold. And I am super, super excited about this. Did I mention in the last recording just how excited I am to have this mold now? I've been waiting for this mold for ages. So as soon as it came into stock, I was just like, yep, add to cart. But there she is. Isn't she stunning? Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so again, the mold is from Starchild Designs. Okay, the pigment pastes that I used are from LBB Resin. I'm not gonna, as I mentioned in the first part, I don't want to go too much into the pigment pastes for two reasons. One, this is not a video for LBB Resin, this is a video for Starchild Designs. And two, I actually have, I'm about halfway through filming a cup that I'm doing that displays a big chunk of the new pigment paste range from LBB Resin. So I don't want to go into it too much because that's going to be in a separate video, but I did use pigment pastes to paint my mold first, and then we poured over the top of it, and this beautiful deep purple here is Galaxy Purple from Pixie Dust Pigments. But that is the finished result. Now if you go into the molds on Ashleigh's website, Starchild Designs' website, she's actually done the same thing where she's painted the outline of the skull and the snake and everything like that as well. And then what she's actually done, which I think is a brilliant idea as well, but I don't have any, is instead of adding a solid color to the background, she's actually poured clear with dried flowers in it. So you have your design that's all painted, and then you have the dried flowers that sit behind. So make sure you check that out if you're looking for inspiration as well, because they're quite pretty. I just don't work with dried flowers, and I used my favorite colors for these ones. So the next step for me is to just to seal in the pigment paste. There are a couple of scales, especially here, that I just need to touch up, and then I will pour a really, really thin layer of resin into the tray just to seal it all in, and then make her nice and glossy, and then she will be ready to use. But that is the snake skull mold from Starchild Designs. Isn't she pretty? Okay, we're going to move on to our third and final demonstration project. Alright guys, we're going to wrap up this demonstration and product review with one of the very first things. It wasn't I think it came out of the second order. The first order that I ever placed with Ashleigh, I bought some coaster molds that I'm actually going to use in a standalone video because they are really, really cool and something very new. So this came in the second order. Anybody that follows me on TikTok, you've already seen me playing with these. Now I'm not actually going to pour into these today because I do have a couple of demonstrations all ready to show you. But I did want to include these because these are one of my favorite molds that I have ever bought. Ashleigh or otherwise. These trinket dishes just blow my mind. But you will see on the actual trinket dish itself, right, I've just unfolded the mold. You have all of your astrology symbols and some stars. Okay, And then you have a choice of a pentagram lid with the zodiacs around the outside, or a sun lid with it around the outside. Now, there are two ways to do this. The first way is what you guys would have seen on my TikTok, which is where I have just poured straight into the mold, and I haven't bothered to paint the little bits and pieces. I did do it on the lid, right, but I have used, this was mica powder that I paint, no it wasn't, sorry, go back a step. The silver is acrylic paint. I painted that into the lid first, and then once that was dry, I then painted this gorgeous color shift. It goes from blue to purple, see that? Painted the lid and the this mold, right, still with me, with this color shifting mica powder. Now I'll see if I can get it to come up. It does go, there we go, see purple here and blue, right? So it does have a really pretty, there we go, purple. See the purple on the inside? See, I'm not crazy. It does shift, right? So I painted the mold with the mica powder. Then I added a little bit of black acrylic paint and a little bit of, I think it was platinum white from A1 Pigments, just to give it that pearly effect. Mixed that into my epoxy and then poured that black epoxy you can see on the lid as well. Poured that into the mold so that when I demolded it, those chameleons would still shift, right? So remember, chameleons on a black base will shift. Chameleons that don't have any black as the background won't shift. Okay, so that's why I've done the black. And this one was the first one I did. It's on my TikTok, and I painted with mica powders. Okay, so this one's for me. Then I went ahead and made the sunshine one, right? So it's two lids, but the same trinket dish. And you get the whole set when you buy the set from Ashleigh. You get both lids and the trinket dish. But the next one I made for my best friend, and that is this one. Okay, so she has no color shifts on hers. She does have some gold foils in the bottom there. And to create this look, I did flip my mold inside out like this. I went in with a tiny little paintbrush and some gold pigment paste from Just Resin. It is Just Resin, not LBB Resin for the gold. Went in with, I think it was the bright gold from Just Resin, and painted all of the little details on both the mold and the lid. Okay, and then from there I did the same where and on this bit here, this top bit here that then becomes the bottom, I put some gold flakes. Okay, then I did the same trick where I mixed my black acrylic paint and a little bit of white pearl. So see how we get that shimmer to it, right? Mixed that in and poured straight over the top of the pigment paste and the foil, and that is the result that we were left with. So there are a lot of opportunities. I mean, obviously the design of the trinket trays are going to be the same every time. You're going to get two different lids, but how you actually create your design from there is completely up to your imagination. So I just wanted to mention them as well because these are starting to become hot items for me. I am about to launch my new age range, but I have already sold a fair few of these. But yeah, this one's for me and this one's for my best friend because these were the first two that we ever made. But that is the little trinket dish that you can get as well. And that finishes up my demonstration from Starchild Designs. So let me go and grab everything else and we will do a quick recap, and then I will let you guys get on with your day. Ta-da! I did it! I managed to squeeze this entire demonstration video into one frame. Ta-da! Okay, so just a quick recap. Down in the bottom left-hand corner here, we have all 10 sample swatches of the glitters that I currently have from Starchild Designs in my collection. But as I mentioned in the beginning, she has 4 pages worth of glitter now, and she is growing weekly. So make sure you check out her entire range. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, I'm a bit of a sparkle snob when at the best of times, but no, her mixes are not like anything else that's on the market at the moment, and they are really, really pretty. And I love how a lot of her glitters have that rainbow shift in them. So make sure you definitely check out her glitter collection, not just her silicone mold collection. And then first off, we made the makeup palette. We kept it clear, as I explained why in the video, but that uses treasure gold as well, which was this sample that I showed you guys in this mold as well. Next up, we did the snake and skull mold. I did use pigment pastes from another company and a mica powder from a different company, because Ashleigh does not yet sell mica powders or pigment pastes. And I say yet because I don't know what her plans are for the future, but at the moment she's focusing on the holographic inserts, the silicone molds, and her custom glitter collections. So that is the mold that you can buy from Starchild Designs. And then of course we finished off with the trinket trays down the bottom here. It is the same trinket tray in the set, but you do get the 2 different lids so you can mix it up a little bit. And that is my demonstration and my thoughts on the beautiful brand new Starchild Designs. So please make sure, as always, all of the links and everything that I used is in the description. Please take the time to check her out. She does have Afterpay as well, which is always a little bit of an incentive. Yes, I'm an enabler, and no, I don't actually care. But that is what we've made from Starchild Designs in this video. Please keep an eye out. I do have a couple of other product demonstrations coming. One in particular is a coaster set from Starchild Designs that I want to do. I'm just waiting on the second part because I didn't actually realize that it uses a square coaster mold as the base, and I didn't actually realize that the one that I already had was 2 centimeters too small. So I've actually had to order Ashleigh's. I'm just waiting for that to arrive, but that will be coming very, very soon. This should get you interested in the meantime. Thank you once again for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.